Okay, this is the part where you guys are going to apply what you've learned from the car loans to the mortgages. And car loans and mortgages have a lot in common. What you're going to do is you're going to keep the Excel spreadsheet or the Google sheet that you used for the first part of the activity, practicing the auto loans. And then you're going to come over here and make a new tab called mortgage. So down at the bottom, click on the plus, make a tab, rename it mortgage, and you're going to watch this. And then you're going to complete numbers 3 through 5. Actually, you're going to complete 4 and 5 because I'm going to do 3 with you. Okay, so let's talk about mortgages just a little bit. I'm going to read this out loud because I think it's important to hear, which you guys probably know a lot about this already. A mortgage is a loan which helps you finance the purchase of a house. So really the difference between the mortgage and the car loans are what you're buying. In a mortgage, the house acts as the collateral. That means that if you don't pay, the lender, like the bank or the credit union, they can take your home away from you. They can foreclose it if you do not repay the loan according to the loan agreement that you sign. Usually mortgages are for 15 or 30 years. And interest rates can be fixed or adjustable, which means it can stay the same rate all the way through the mortgage, or it can adjust depending on what the market is doing. And there are lots of opinions on adjustable interest rates. But basically what happens with that is your mortgage payment can go up or go down based on the bank adjusting those rates to match what's happening in the market. Rates are usually lower for shorter term loans. And hopefully that makes sense because the banks and the credit unions are going to charge you less to borrow money for a short amount of time than they are to let you borrow money for a long amount of time. And that's just because they're going to get their money back and make their profit off of you and your interest payments quicker with a shorter term loan. And that's true with car loans too. Usually your rates are better for shorter. So lots of additional costs and fees associated with mortgages. You hear your parents probably talking about property taxes, about homeowners insurance. Those are usually the two basic things that are required to be included in your mortgage payment. And what ends up happening is they take your homeowner's policy and they take your property tax bill and they add that into your loan for basically for the year. And they divide it by 12 and you pay for your house and your homeowner's insurance and your property taxes all in one bill. And what happens with those property taxes and homeowners fees that you're paying every month in your mortgage payment? They go into a special account called an escrow account that the bank or the credit union, whoever you're paying your mortgage to, holds for you. And then they make those payments on your behalf every year. And the reason for that is to make sure people pay those bills, because the localities do not want you to skip out on paying your property taxes. And you need that homeowner's insurance if something goes wrong with your home or your property or something like that. Okay, so just kind of a little brief overview there. Not a huge explanation, but enough to give you the idea that the cars and the houses are financed similarly. Maybe not exactly the same, but similarly. There's a principal payment, there's an interest payment, and there's a term. All that kind of stuff is the same. All right. So let's just take a look. Let's see here. I did not want to do, let me see what order I have these in. I think there's a couple here I don't want. Yes, I don't want this one. Thank you very much for being patient. And I wanted to move this one up here. I wanted to talk about David. David is applying for a mortgage on an $80,000 house. So when he goes to look at the house is $80,000. And he plans to make a down payment of 20%. So he's not going to mortgage the whole $80,000. Typically, those kinds of mortgages are very hard to get. You have to put down a down payment when you buy a house in most scenarios in order to get a reasonable rate. So if you think about this, and I'm just gonna pull up a calculator here. All right, let me get out of the graphing. Okay, so if we take $80,000 and we figure out what 20% down is, that's $16,000. So he's going to put $16,000 down. And I'm sure you guys can do the subtraction, but I'm going to do it here. So that $64,000 is what he is going to borrow from either the bank or the credit union, wherever. Okay. So they want us to find the monthly payment, the total cost of the mortgage, and the total interest paid for each scenario. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this video. I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to come back and start a second video because I want you guys to just take a stab at this. Okay, so 30 years is your term. Fixed rate is 5.2%. Over here, we have a 15-year mortgage. So there's your term, fixed rate of 4.5. And it does say monthly payment. So that means that your N, I'm just going to write this stuff down real quick for you. Your P principal is $64,000. Your rate, let's see, 5.2% for this first one. Your term, T, is 30, and your N is how many payments you're going to make in a year. And because it's monthly, that's 12. Okay, so hopefully that helps a little bit. I want you to take just a couple minutes. I'm going to end this video, and then I'll come back and I'll solve it for you.